Hello and welcome to softexpert. Elementor version 4 has been out there for a couple of weeks now. Some people are getting used to it while others are a bit worried or confused. So in this video I'll quickly walk you through Elementor version 4, its atomic editor, how it works, and most importantly what happens to your old websites built with the previous versions of Elementor. Now this version of Elementor introduces the atomic editor, a brand new foundation, and it has 4 main pillars: atomic elements, which are the lightweight building blocks with less code; centralized design system, so one place for styles; reusable components, so built once and update everywhere; and better performance, so obviously simpler code, simpler structure means fast loading websites. Now if you have not activated the atomic editor yet, just go to Elementor in the dashboard, then editor and settings. Here you will find another tab for atomic editor. Just click here to activate it. I already have activated it, and let's see it in action by editing any page with Elementor. So I've opened up this simple page. Now the first thing you will notice are the atomic elements here. So these are the new blocks added to Elementor, and these are the regular blocks. And first, if I try adding any atomic element, let's say heading, you will notice these 3 tabs: journal, where we can customize the content; then style, where we can manage the style at one place, including the layout, spacing, size, position, typography; and then we have interactions, so we can add entrance animations and other animations in this tab. Before making any edits here, let's just remove it. First, let's create a flex box, and let's add some spacing to it. So I'll go to spacing, and here we can set up a margin or padding for it. So under padding I'll type in 100 for example. This is just to show you, okay? And let's add a couple of headings, and I'll just duplicate it. We'll go back to this flex box, layout, let's change this to flex and column. Now I just did this to explain the variables and classes very shortly, okay? Now those are very lengthy topics, but I will cover them very shortly in this video. First, if I edit the first one and I go to style, where I can make changes to a style, let's say under typography, I can add a font family to it and a color to it. So just simply click here, and this is how you can add a color and a font family from here, okay? Now you can see these dots, which means that we are dealing with this element locally in the local class, okay? Now I can do the same for these titles as well, but instead of going to each element, then style, assigning a font family, a color, we can make it simple by using variables. And variables are just the fundamental tokens of atomic editor, okay, which holds a value like a color, a font, or a size value, okay? Let me quickly show you. Now to remove the styling, we can just go here and clear the style, okay? Now instead of doing it locally here, let's create a variable for it. So if I hover over here and go here, these are variables. If I click it, now I have this purple color variable, but I can create another one by clicking here, and let's give it a name. So I'll type in the color name, let's say green. For the value I'll choose green color, and that's it. Now we have created a variable here. Now we can apply this same variable to this one. So under style, typography and color, we will choose the green color. That's it. Now why this is easy and important, because we can control this from one place under variable manager. So for example, the clients requested to change this color, so I can just click here, go to the variable manager, and I can change this green color here. So I'll just click here and choose another color for it, like this, okay? And then save changes, which will change the color throughout the website, okay? Same goes for the font family and size. You can see I have created a font family. Now I can apply this to any of these titles. And if you want to create it, just click this plus, choose font, and I'll call this font 2 because I have this one. For the font family, I'll choose another one. Let's say this one. Now let's close this, and for the font family I'll go to variables, we'll choose font 2. That's it. By the way, this is not limited to a title or text only. This is now a global color. You can apply it on any element let's add a button. For the style background, I can choose a green or purple color. So basically this is now a global value, a global color that we can manage and change from one place. So that's how variables work. Now you might have noticed classes here. So if variable hold a value, classes on the other hand define a scope. Let me show you how. Let's edit this one. Under style, I'll give it a class. Okay, I have created these classes, but let's create another one. I'll call this heading 2 just to show you. Okay, and then for this specific class I'll make some changes. Let's say under typography I'll choose the font weight to be 500, font size of 100 for example. Align this to center, and let's add another color to it and another font family as well. And let's say this is fine. Now we have made changes to this class, and if I add another element now, a heading, now this is in the default style. If I go to style and choose the heading 2 class for it, it will take all the properties from the previous class. So this is how classes work. Now let me briefly explain the components as well. So if I go to this plus, besides the widgets we have components here. Now these are just reusable blocks that can be customized from one place. As I have created this team card, if I bring this over here, I previously have created this for a team member. Okay, let me show you how we can create something like this. So first I'll create a grid here. Let's say this one. And here I'll try to create a component. Okay, so let's click this plus. First I'll add a flex box and let's give it some spacing. Background color and some border radius and some shadow. Let's add an image here. And let's add a heading. So for this flex box I'll change the direction. Under layout, this will be the name, and then let's say designation, and let's say this is fine. Now this is a card that I want to use on different pages and also here, so I can create a component for this. So if I right click here, you can see the option create component. I'll call this team card 2 because I have the previous one as well. And component created successfully. Now you can see we are editing the component itself. Okay, but let's close this for now. And if I go to this plus components, I can use this again and again. And this is because I want to show the main point here. So now if I edit any of these, and let's change the name to name 2, it will change all the names, and this is not what we need. We want to keep the same structure but obviously a different picture and name and designation. Now to solve this, we will have to expose these elements to the editor. Okay, let me show you. Let's edit back the component and let's click the image here. Now to expose this to the editor and make it editable, just click here and override property. You can give it any name, so I'll call this profile. Create. Same goes for the name. Under general, I'll click this to override the property. We'll call this name. And for the designation, that's it. Now let's go back, and now if I click here, I can change this image, I can change the name and the designation, and the rest of the elements remains the same. So this is how components work, and these were the main pillars of Atomic Editor. Now the main question is, what happens to the old websites built with the previous versions of Elementor? So the answer is nothing, because you can see that I'm using grid from the normal version 3 container. Okay, and these elements are coming from the atomic elements. I can create a flex box again from the version 3 I can make changes to it like we have done previously, and then I can go to this plus and I can add any atomic element to it. So atomic elements and the previous elements can be used side by side without affecting the website. But obviously for creating new sites we need to use atomic elements because these are feature rich and we can control the design and functionality from one place. So this was an overview of atomic editor of Elementor. Now each of these elements required a separated video that I'll try to cover in the next videos, for which you can follow my channel, and still if you have any questions, any special request for another video, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next.